Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel, wishing you a happy, healthy start to this Monday morning here as we get prepared for the new week, potentially new opportunities, of which this would be the week. This is the damn week, if you will, that if we are going to see continuation, extremely likely within these next few days here, maybe at most to the end of the week, which actually does offer a potential hopium scenario for a major low here as well. If Bitcoin can especially hold out through this next, I would say 5-day period, that'd be a really good damn indication that it is going to put in a major trap here. Until then, however, risk remains to the downside. So without further ado, I need to talk about the sale because I keep on forgetting. Sales over here, it's on the Krown trading application. You can find that in the link in the description below. As always, with any one of the programs, any one of the indicators that you might be considering, please, I humbly would request that you watch the promotional videos so that you understand who it's made for, who it's not, who it's also not made for, what to expect essentially, so that you, as a nice, rational adult, can make the decision for yourself. Of course, what I've found recently is that most people are interested in the Krown Quant project. That's just a bunch of, well, it's not a bunch, it's a 12 strategies. It's actually technically 13 if you want to be super exact, that are all back tested, forwards tested, blah, 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 live trades, all that good stuff. And then the TA program. These are the two most popular ones right now. So I figure if you are interested in things, those are probably the two ones that might be most applicable to you. Anyways, that is a decision for you to make. Might be relevant, might not be relevant, but let's jump into price action right now because that is the most relevant. And let's start it off with a continuation first of the lower term timeframes, and then we'll thread it into the higher term timeframe analysis. So first and foremost, 12-hour timeframe on CME, volatility has contracted back down to extreme lows. Not just the 12-hour timeframe, it's also the 6-hour timeframe and the 4-hour timeframe as well, which we were watching at the end of last week, because as volatility contracted, we were observing yet another lower high on price action, which was giving us the bias that, hey, this is probably just another failed rally before continuation, at least first and foremost. And thus far, that has been correct. So what can we say on top of that as of right now? Well, not only do we have low BBWP, low volatility essentially, we're also seeing that there are several drives of hidden bearish divergence. We already went through the 4-hour last week, but the 6-hour time frame has several drives right here, and the 12-hour time frame is going to put in a third drive, assuming that it closes this 12-hour basically anywhere here or lower. Let's call it 15,800 or so. If you see that, very likely we will see at least a move to the bottom side of the range. When we said that was quite likely just based off of the 4-hour time frame coming into last week, I think that we're kind of already seeing that move as of right now. 6-hour time frame also has some downside curvature on the 6-hour jewel. And then, of course, if we were to put our drawing tools on, you can see essentially the same ranges as before. I'll go over the trap situation in a second here, but before that, I do want to go over stochastic momentum for CME. So on the daily for CME, the daily stochastic momentum pivot, and keep in mind that there is about a $300 discount on CME versus spot price action right now, is currently pivoted at 15,950, which Bitcoin's actually $100 below at the moment, or just about. So momentum remains to the downside as long as it's below there. Moving on to the 12-hour time frame, you can see that 12-hour stochastic is going to turn down freshly at the neutral zone if Bitcoin closed below 16,100. That closure coming in about 2 hours and 9 minutes and 54 seconds. 6-hour time frame is going to be already down as long as Bitcoin's below 16,200. 4-hour time frame is also going to be down and nosediving as long as Bitcoin's below 16,050. And then the hourly is probably going to be up if I had to guess, and it is up actually as long as Bitcoin's above 15,800, which is just barely right now. So, short term Bitcoin probably tries to bounce. I think that we're like literally already seeing that right now anyways. Yeah, I mean, kind of trying a little bit of the sideways dance right there, if you will. Might even try for a little bit more of a bounce, but ultimately pressure remains to the downside and probably looking at another swipe somewhere around the range lows here. Is there potential for a trap? I mean, there's always potential for a trap, right? It's a non-zero probability. Two areas of interest. The first one would be like a major warning signal that, hey, trap is not just possibility, but now it becomes rather likely, would be back above last Thursday's high, CME, that's 16,450. And full-on trap confirmation would be above about $17,000 on a closing basis for especially like a higher time frame. At that point, have to be looking back for a move, probably somewhere around $18,000, maybe north of $18,000 as well, which would be quite nice, I suspect. But yeah. Until then, Bitcoin still remains within its lower high structure, which is actually, as of right now, still a descending triangle. So if it does validate below the lower boundary, which let's call it like 15,200 or so, again, on a closing basis. That's the point where we do have a bit of a measured move to be made off this one, which points, I don't know, somewhere around 14,000-ish, let's say. So with all of that in mind, I want to now go into the 2-day time frame analysis, continue up on this one, because this one's where all the magic is happening right now. And why I kind of say that, one, if you're expecting continuation, likely it happens sooner rather than later. Two, if it doesn't happen, you're very likely going to see a nice little rally, or maybe even big rally. So in this case, the 2-day time frame right here, volatility versus stochastic momentum, volatility represented by this indicator getting down to extreme lows over the past full history actually of CME has led to an average move of about 39.5%. Stochastic also has been correcting, getting the direction 83% of the time. This one obviously worked again as well, which is, I guess, good. The average days taken is about 24 to 25 days. So the reason why I'm really focusing on this like next 5-day period is because as of right now, or upon closure tonight, we will be on the 21st day, I believe. Yes, the 21st day, if I actually do this properly. It's kind of hard to zero in it right there, but it'll be the 21st day. So that would say that on average, we expect another 3 to 4 days from basically Monday, which puts us at Thursday, Friday, to get towards like the average move, if you will. So here's the thing. We've actually already seen the bottom side of the first standard deviation hit here at 32%. That was that moved all the way down to like 15,000 low. So if we are going to see continuation, meaning a closure below current lows, the next area of interest would be like 39.5%, which would put Bitcoin, closer to like 13.5 or so, if I can actually get it properly here. Yeah, like mid to low $13,000 territory. Again, there's going to be some variance there, obviously, but here's the thing. If we start to see Bitcoin hold the current lows, and then, at the end of the week, which would be actually a little bit above the average days, it's there, then very likely, very naturally, we're going to see we're going to see this turn up first, and then we're probably going to see a nice rally. I would presume maybe at least somewhere around like $17.5 to $18,000. Here's the thing though. So this one does close tonight, and the current pivot is 15,900. Bitcoin's actually trading below that pivot right now by about $40, so not much. But if you see Bitcoin continue to close below that pivot, I will continue to say that risk remains to the downside, especially within this next 3 to 4 day period, basically. So as of right now, it's below. So I will still continue to say that. But hey, it'll have a chance tonight, I guess. So if it does pop back above that pivot tonight, that'd be the first sort of initial warning to the warning that there might be an actual trap. But still, I'd like to see, a little bit more, personally speaking. To take it one step further, though, and to also explain why I still do think that downside is still more likely here overall, not just due to that, but is the confluence between that and also the 5-day stochastic oscillator, which is still pointed to the downside as long as Bitcoin's below 17.2, and then the weekly, which just closed last night, it just closed last night on spot. CME closed on Friday. Is pivoted at 17,450. Spot price action pivot is 17,700. So actually very, very close right there. To me, that probably means that we do see another at least try towards the downside, and then hopefully for the boo law's sake, they defend against it. If they don't, well, probably looking somewhere between like mid 13s to 14, I would say. And then come back to it after that. So I think that's a good place to leave it off on this particular video. What I did want to make a note of to say is that not only does Bybit have their current promotion going on, which I've spoken about a million times, but what they do have that I think would be actually more interesting to most people here is they've been building a decentralized exchange. So I will have like a full-on video on it soon enough, but I just want to let people know right now, because a decentralized exchange run by Bybit basically means that, one, it's going to have decent liquidity, although right now it's okay right now, but it's nothing, nothing spectacular. And then two, you have, no KYC, I guess. And then three, you do have the most important feature, which is the coins that you trade with, they stay in your wallet. So you don't have to run into or risk an FTX situation. So before it's until we get all of these exchanges really either regulated or fully prove that they have assets to cover their liabilities, well, this is probably the more safe way to be trading, I would suspect. So Yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it off on this one. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Of course, it's an affiliate link. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but it does grant you some powers, I guess. So yeah, I'll be signing off on that. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon.